Hello and welcome. I see a lot of faces. So I have good news and bad news. The good news is you will learn a lot about the chances to come over to Germany and work as a fully registered nurse in Germany. The bad news, it will be in English. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. My Spanish is a catastrophe, but we will get along even if you ask in Spanish. Thank you very much for coming and for your interest. We will explain a little bit about how easy and difficult at the same time it is to come over to Germany and to work in Germany as a nurse. And I'm not going to talk all the time, so please, if there is anything not clear, anything you want to know, just go ahead and ask so that we can have a little discussion about all your ideas and questions and whatever you want to know. We will start in telling you a little bit about us and why we are doing it, and then talk about the German healthcare system, because there are some differences, and the most important part, then talk about the process, how to become a fully registered nurse with an unlimited working contract in an acute care hospital in Germany. Okay? Okay, so first of all, why are we doing it? In Germany there are not enough nurses, and the reason for that is basically 25 years old. There were not enough babies at that time, and therefore there are not enough young people right now who are able and willing to work. That's not only a problem for nurses. This affects many professions, but especially nurses, and we are here to talk about the job opportunities for nurses. We started doing that about 10 years ago, based in Frankfurt, and so far we brought, and actually this is from last year, more than 1,400 nurses already to Germany. And what is very important for us, we not only brought them to Germany, but they work as fully registered nurse, not as technicals, assistant nurse, whatever, as fully registered nurses in acute care hospitals. We are in many countries all over the world, from Latin America to Africa. We are in Namibia and South Africa, for example, in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, so many countries throughout the world, and everywhere it is the same. We have excellent nurses, qualified, studied, with some experience or not so much experience, who are looking for an adventure, who are looking for a professional development opportunity where they can spend at least some years in a good healthcare system, where they can learn more, develop their career, start maybe their specialization with an unlimited contract and a decent salary. So no financial needs, no sorrows about the salary coming in at the end of the month. In Germany it is at the day and not a second later where you found the money on your account. It is by law, so nobody dares to pay the salary one day later. For us it's always the same. We go and talk to the best universities in the country, and that's why we are very happy to be here at the University of Guadalajara, and we are speaking to you, and we are talking about the job opportunities, and then for some, it is an interesting concept, and then they contact us, and then we talk about the next steps. We will come to that later. So again, what is important for us is that you will have a good job opportunity and a solid career path in Germany. If that is not the case, you will not be happy and you will complain or come back, whatever. So our goal is to find a good career opportunity for you. A career opportunity that fits your interests. So if you are into working with elderly, you will not work with children, vice versa. We started in 2019 to offer also the program and the opportunity for nurses from Mexico, and so far we have the first 70 nurses who do work in Germany, some are still in the process of getting their title acknowledged, and others have already their title as a nurse, and they work in acute care hospitals, in big hospitals, in their specialty they're interested in. And we also started, and it's maybe not interesting for you, just to let you know, we also started our own nursing school in Germany, so we can also offer a program for those who have not yet studied, who haven't got their degree, to give them a chance to do the nursing school in Germany. It is a little different because in Germany you will be employed from day one, and you will have, during your education, already a salary from day one. So this is an interesting program, and the first nursing students started 2 months ago in Frankfurt. They come from 8 different countries, from 5 different continents. So it's a very international class, and we will keep you posted about their ideas and the progress of the program. This is a picture just to show you from the first group who came to Frankfurt. That's actually at the Frankfurt airport when they just landed. They look a little tired, but they brought the flag, very important, to show we are in Germany, we are Mexicans. And they're very happy, and they started to work 18 months ago? Yeah. About 18 months ago, and happily found their way and new friends, and I think a good path for their career. Just a little bit about the German healthcare system. It is a little different. We have only one system. So there is no private, no Seguridad Social, no EMS. It's only one public system. So everybody who works in Germany is in the same system. Would mean the same for you. As soon as you start to work, you are eligible for the same health benefits as every other person who lives and works in Germany. And the level of the treatments and the treatment options the level is high. So everybody can get first class treatment, and there are no waiting lists, so you can just go there, and depending on the urgency, that's for sure, they will treat you right away. So that's good. We have about 2,000 hospitals, so it's a pretty large number of hospitals in Germany. And in those hospitals, we have about 300,000 nurses working there, and about 150,000 doctors. But they also work in private practice. That's also a big difference. So the primary care is not done by nurses. Nurses do work in hospitals, when patients need hospitalization. So the primary care, when you have a small, like a cold or not feeling well, you would go to see a doctor in private practice, and they don't work with nurses. They have doctor's assistant, it's a different education. So nurses will not work in primary care, they will work in hospitals, and there is another option, because the worst place for patients to be is exactly because you can get your nosocomial infections. So the first idea is to keep them out of the hospital. And that's why we have what we call a home care service system, and it's within the public system, and that's where nurses go to see the patients at home. And it's not just one patient, but then maybe 6, 7, 8 patients per day, and help them with their needs so that you can prevent hospitalization. That's a second option for nurses to work. And there is a third option, for example, in rehabilitation, hospitals. That's an old German development where you can, after surgery, for example, if you get a hip replacement, to bring you up to form, to bring you up to speed quicker, you would go to a rehab hospital where you stay for 3 weeks, and you get a lot of training and special attention, and you would go there on day 5 after your hip replacement, pretty early, so that patients are still ill. Yeah, they still need medical attention, nursing attention, and that's the third option for nurses to work. Acute care hospital, most of the nurses work there. Home care, and the third one would be in rehabilitation clinics. So another big difference between Germany and Mexico is not enough babies. So it's an aging society. Small number of young people, large number of elderly people. And that's another area, for example, that it's different. In Mexican hospitals, you have a lot of patients in obstetrics and neonatology, and not so many in Germany, not so many babies. But then there is a focus on cardiology, internal medicine, nephrology, and also geriatrics, where there is a developing specialty how to take care of elderly people, how to make their life easy and healthy. So that would be a service in a hospital, among others also in geriatrics. And as I said, an increasing lack of nurses, and this will continue, and it's predictable because we have many nurses who are going to retire in the next 5 to 10 years. So there are many job opportunities for nurses who want to spend some time of their life in a German hospital. So this is where I'm going to explain a lot. This is the key chart for today. This is the process how to become a nurse in Germany. In principle, it is easy. There's only one thing. You need to speak German, because all the patients in Germany and all your colleagues, they will speak to you in German. Not in Spanish, not in Japanese, not in Turkish, and especially not in English, in German. And therefore, you need to learn German. That is new. I suppose not many of you are fluent in German. Normally nobody is. And therefore, that's what we do. We organize language classes to bring you up to speed in German. And those language classes are intense. It's a full-time occupation. So we will take you out from the rest of your life and bring you within 7 months, 6 to 7 months, including the final test, up to speed, up to language level B2. During that period, during that language class, you will do nothing except learning German. Sleeping in German, eating German, dreaming German, take your shower in German. Everything will be German. No work in parallel and no studies in parallel. That's very important. You need to focus. It is difficult and it's intense, but we know, because we've done it hundreds of times, we know that if you follow the classes from day one, and not in the sense like, the big exam is in 6 weeks, I will start to study in 5 weeks, will not help. You will have to study from day one and continuously repeat, because there will be something new every day. But if you do so, you will pass. So the 3 rules for the language class, that's my mantra. You have to be there every class. It's not like, today the sun is out, I take a day off. It doesn't work, because there will be something new every day, and it is very hard to keep up if you do not follow the classes. Second rule, no work and no study in parallel. Only German, nothing else. And the third rule is, you have to pass the language level B2. No language level B2, no work in Germany. It's not because we are mean. Those are the rules from the government, and actually it makes sense, because speaking to your colleagues, speaking to the patients without a solid base in German, not good, not easy. So, to make that easier for you, we organize everything. So you don't have to take care of the visa, of the acknowledgement of your title. We will find an apartment for you. We will find a job for you. We will organize a bank account, a mobile phone, set up everything, except learning German. I do know German, so that's up to you. You would have to learn German. And to make it easier for you, and then to keep your back free, we even pay you a scholarship during that period of time, so you don't need to work, you will have enough money to survive. So that's also just a very important information. We don't want your money. So the language class is for free. We pay even for the flight to Germany, for the translations. We even pay a scholarship, so you don't need to bring money, but you need to bring your brain to learn German. So once you have the language exam, you pass B2, one step younger, because before. During the language class, we will bring you in contact with German hospitals, and you will have an interview. The interview will be in German, because they speak German, and they also want to see how your German is. So the interview typically will not be in the beginning of the language class, but during the language class, after 4 months maybe. And then you will see, maybe due to the pandemic only on the screen, see the responsible from the hospital and talk to them, and they will talk to you. And then you can see whether it is a fit or not. Once you agree, both sides agree that it's a good fit, then there will be a working contract, etc. There is one important information, and maybe you understood it already. You will not know before you start a language class in which city you will end up. We don't know. So this is during the process. You will meet the hospitals, and then you will know in which city you are. So if you have an idea, I want to go to Mönchengladbach or whatever place in Germany, then we are not the right program to help you, because we cannot promise that you will be in one city, but we will promise you that you will have a good job in an acute care hospital with a good also service and attention so that you will not be alone. That's also very important. No Mexican nurse will be alone in a hospital. We will always bring you in groups so that you have some friends where you can, after work, not during work, speak some Spanish and prepare some typical Mexican food, because the German food is different, although we have a lot of Mexican restaurants, so there are many options also to have Mexican food. So, phase 1, you learned how to speak German, the German is almost fluent, you passed the language exam, then we will bring you to Germany. You will have the visa, that's all done before, all your papers are done, and then maybe Aeromexico, but maybe also Lufthansa, you will sit in the plane and fly over to Germany, and then we will pick you up at the airport, bring you to your apartment, that's all arranged, it's fully set up, so there's food and there's a bed and everything you need. And then you will start, after some days for preparation, you will start to work in the hospital. And you will start to work as an assistant nurse because your title will not be acknowledged from day one. There is a period of acknowledgement of recognition of your title. And this period, that's phase 2, can go between 3 to 9 months. During that period, you will work as an assistant nurse, basically doing what a nurse does, but never alone. You will always be under supervision of a registered nurse from Germany, so no fear that they will send you alone in the night shift and you don't know anything. No, this is not allowed. And during that time, you will learn about the German healthcare system, special vocabulary you need to know about how things are called, how people speak in a German hospital. And you will also get paid as an assistant nurse, which is actually quite a lot of amount of money. It's about 2,600 euros per month gross income, and that's a lot. Actually, it's by far enough to survive. So there will, even during that phase, there will be no financial sorrows. So no need to worry about the money. The goal of that phase is to get your title acknowledged. And there is a mutual interest between you want your title acknowledged, and the hospital, because they need you as a registered nurse.